Hey guys, welcome to 5th grade, chapter 6, lesson 9. We're going to go ahead and get started with number 2. So, I know that these look kind of complicated because they're fractions. Don't freak out. It's actually pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and get started, okay? So, all we're working with is either subtraction or addition, okay? So, if the numbers are going up, well, that's a 1 and that's a 2 for a whole number, so it's going to be plus. If it's going down, see how it's 2 there and a 1 there? Subtraction, okay? All right. Now you just need to find out by how much, okay? And fill in the blank, okay? So I just took two of the numbers that are right next to each other, used the bigger one to subtract the smaller one, which if we're adding, we know that the one furthest to the right is going to be the bigger one, okay? So I'm taking the bigger one, subtracting the smaller one, okay? Common denominator is going to be 8. Okay, so now 1, and I had to multiply that by 2, multiply that by 2, and 6 over 8 minus 1 and 3 over 8. Okay, so 1 take away 1, nothing. Denominator is going to stay 8, and 6 minus 3 is 3. Okay, so your rule is going to be to add 3/8. Okay, that's what we got here. That's our rule. Okay, so I can either take this number and subtract 3/8, which I can totally do, or I can take this number and I can add 3/8. Okay? Okay? Either way, it's going to get me where I need to be. Okay? Okay, so I'm going to add because it's easier for me to add than it is for me to subtract. Okay? So I'm still going to have 2 because I don't see a whole 1 there. Okay? Denominator is 8. 1 plus 3 is 4. Well, 4 over 8 is equal to a half, so we're going to have 2 and a half. Sorry, that 2 was kind of messed up. Okay? Okay, so we're going to do the same thing here. Okay? All right. We're going to go. See how it's 9/7 and then 7/7? That means it's going down. So our rule is going to be subtract. We don't know how much, okay? But it's going down, okay? So I'm going to go 1 and 9/10 minus 1 and 7/10. Okay, well, those ones are going to cancel out because 1 take away 1 is nothing. 9 take away 7 is 2, and our denominator stays the same. Okay, however, 2/10 is equal to 1/5 when we reduce it. Okay, so minus 1/5. Okay, okay, so now we know. Yeah, okay, so we know that whatever this is, we just have to take the number before it, subtract 1/5 or 2/10 because the denominators are all tenths. Okay, so as much as the rule is subtract 1/5, we're going to use the 2/10 because that's what the denominator is for all of them is 10. Okay, so now I'm going to take 1 and 7/10 and I'm going to subtract 2/10. Okay, so 1 take away nothing is still going to be 1. 7 minus 2 is 5, and the denominator stays the same. Now 5/10 is equal to 1/2. So your fill in the blank is going to be 1 1/2. Okay? All right. We're going to do another one. Don't panic, okay? 2's, 1. We're going down, so we're going to be subtracting, okay? That part's the easy part, okay? So I'm going to take 2 that are right next to each other. Doesn't matter which 2 as long as they're right next to each other. Okay. and I'm going to subtract the bigger number or the smaller number from the bigger number. Okay, so 2 and 5/12 minus 2 and 1/6. Okay, those two right next to each other. Okay, whatever it is, I'm going to then take the 1 and 11/12 and I'm going to subtract my answer here so that I can get my blank. Okay, so first this problem. Okay, common denominator is going to be 12. Okay, so already have 2 and 5/12, subtract 2, and my denominator is going to be 12. I had to multiply the 6 by 2, multiply the top by 2, 2. Okay? So now 2 minus 2 cancels, ends up 0. The denominator is still going to be 12, and 5 minus 2 is 3. Well, 3/12 is equal to 1/4 if we reduce it. Okay? But for our purposes right here, okay, so it's going to be minus 1/4, but for our purposes here, the denominator is 12, so we're going to use our 12, okay? Minus 3/12, okay? 1 minus nothing is 1. Our denominator is 12, and 11 minus 3 is 8. Well, 8 over 12 is 2/3 if we reduce. So 1 2/3. Okay? Write your work down. It's important. Okay? All right. Okay, so we need to start at 1/2, add 1/3 to each one, okay? So 1/2 plus 1/3, okay? We need to do 4 terms, okay? So we're gonna have 1/2, okay? Add a third. Well, common denominator is gonna be 6, okay? Two times 3 times the top by 3, get 3. 3 times 2 times the top by 2, get 2. I get 5/6. Okay? Now, 5/6 plus, I'm going to add that 2/6 because 1/3 is equal to 2/6. Okay? Okay? So now my denominator is still 6. Okay? My top, though, is 7. I can't have my top bigger than my bottom, so I'm going to do that mental math. And 6 goes into 7 one time. I would have 1 left over, and my denominator stays the same. Okay? I'm going to add that 2/6 again. My denominator is 6. I'm going to add 2/6, okay? So whatever my rule is, I'm going to add 2/6, okay? That's my rule is add 2/6, okay? Okay, so now 1 and 1/6 plus 2/6 equals 1 and 3/6. Well, 3/6 is equal to 1/2, okay? So 1 1/2, okay? 3/6 though is what I'm going to use for my next one. So 1 and 3/6, again, plus 2/6 equals 1 and 5/6. Okay? Okay, now I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm good. Okay? So that's that one. Okay? Now, 3 and 1/8, subtract 3/4. Okay? So I'm going to start 3 and 1/8. Subtract 3/4. Okay? Well, my common denominator here is going to be 8. Okay? So I'm really going to have 3 and 1/8 minus, that one had to be times by 2, that one had to be times by 2, 6/8. Okay? So 3/4 equals 6/8. So every time when I subtract 6/8, this is why. Okay? So 1 cannot take away 6. I need to borrow 1. Now I have 2 I'm going to add an 8 over 8. 9/8 minus 6/8 equals 2. That doesn't change. 9 minus 6 is 3, and my denominator stays the same. So I start with my 3 1/8. I then have 2 3/8. Okay? I'm going to start with 2 3/8. I'm going to take away 6/8. Okay? 3 cannot take away 6. I need to borrow 1 again. 1, and I'm going to add an 8 over 8. Now I have 11 over 8 minus 6/8. Okay? 1 doesn't change. 11 minus 6 is 5, and my denominator is 8. I can't reduce 5 over 8. Okay. I'm going to take my 1 5/8. I'm going to subtract 6/8. 5 cannot take away 6. I'm going to borrow 1. I'm going to add an 8 over 8 over here, giving me 13 over 8 minus 6 over 8. Okay, 13 over 8 minus 6/8, I'm going to get 7/8. Okay, now if I take that 7/8 and I subtract 6/8, I'm going to get 1/8. Okay, there's your 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all right. Next, we are start at 5 1/2. Add 1 1/5. Common denominator is going to be 10. Okay, so my whole numbers don't change. Okay, I had to multiply this by 5 and this by 5, so 5/10, and that by 2 and that by 2, 2/10. Okay, so now I have 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. 5 plus 2 is 7 and 10. So starting with my 5 1/2, I'm going to have 6 7/10. Okay, I'm going to start with my 6 7/10, and I'm going to add 1 2/10 because that's my common denominator. Okay, so 1/5 equals 2/10. Okay, plus 1 2/10. Okay, 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9, and I keep my denominator. Okay, now our next one is where it's going to get just a little bit tricky. Okay, because 2 plus 9 is 11 over 10. 7 plus 1 is 8, but 10 is smaller than 11, so I need to add 1 over. So it's going to be 8 plus 1 is 9, and then I would have 1 left over, and my denominator stays 10, okay? Because 10 goes into 11 one time, so I added the 1, okay? I had 1 left over, and my denominator stays the same, okay? Okay, I'm going to take that 9 1/10. I'm going to add 1 2/10. Okay, now 9 plus 1, 10. 1 plus 2, 3. Denominator stays the same. 10 3/10. Okay? Okay, write your work down, guys. All right? All right, we are going to go over and number 8. I want you guys to try yourself. Okay, you have 3 examples of how to do it. Okay, use the examples. Do number 8. Okay, all right, number 9. It says Jarrett's puppy weighed 3 3/4 ounces at birth. At 1 week old, the puppy weighed 5 1/8 ounces. At 2 weeks old, 6 1/2. If the weight gain continues in this pattern, how much will the puppy weigh at 3 weeks old? So we just need to take one of the bigger numbers, subtract the next number down, and then we'll get our answer. Okay? At 3 weeks old. So there's birth, 1 week, 2 weeks. So we need to find out how much the difference is and then add that to 6 1/2. Okay? So I'm going to do 6 1/2 and I'm going to take away the 5 1/8. And that way we'll know what the difference is. Then I'm going to take 6 1/2 and I'm going to add it to whatever our answer is. Okay? Okay. So common denominator is going to be 8. This one is already an 8. Okay? I kept it. The 2 I had to multiply by 4, so I need to multiply the top by 4. I get 4 8. Okay? Now, 6 minus 5, 1. 4 minus 1, 3. My denominator stays the same. So I'm going to add 1 3/8. Okay? But common denominator, I know that 1/2 is the same as 4/8. So I'm going to rewrite it as 6 4/8 plus 1 3/8. Okay? Well, 6 plus 1 is 7. 4 plus 3 is 7. And my denominator stays the same. So 7 and 7/8 ounces. You can write OZ for ounces. Okay, write down your work, guys. Okay, write down all of your work. This whole thing is this problem, okay? Okay. All right. Number 10. A baker started out with 12 cups of flour. She had 9 1/4 cups of flour left after she used the first batch of batter she made. She had 6 1/2 cups of flour left after the second batch she made. If she makes 2 more batches of batter, how many cups of flour will be left? Okay, so I'm going to go 9 1/4 and I'm going to take away 6 1/2. That will tell me the difference. Okay, then I'm going to do that 2 more times because she made 2 more batches. Okay, so common denominator is going to be 4. So 9 1/4 is already 4. 6, and I had to multiply the 2 by 2 to get to 4. Multiply the top by 2, I get 2/4. Okay, now 1 cannot take away 2. I need to borrow 8, and I'm going to add a 4 over 4. Gives me 5 over 4 minus 6 and 2/4. Okay, 8 minus 6 is 2. 5 minus 2 is 3, and my denominator stays the same. So that's what the difference is. Okay, so now I need to start with the 6 1/2 cups and take away 2 3/4 every time. Well, I know 6 1/2 is the same as 6 2/4, so I'm going to keep my common denominator. Okay, so 6 2/4 minus 2 3/4. Then I need to again make one more minus 2 3/4. Once I find the answer goes there. Okay, so 2 cannot take away 3. I need to borrow 1. Add a 4 over 4 gives me 5 and 6 over 4 minus 2 and 3 over 4. Okay, 5 minus 2 is 3. 6 minus 3 is 3, and 4 stays the same. Okay, that answer went there. Okay, 3/4 take away 3/4. Boom. 3 minus 2, 1. 1 cup. Okay, write your work down, guys. Okay, all right, we're going to go over to the back. You guys are going to do the lesson check. Okay, this just wants to know the rule. Okay, you don't have to find the next one. Just use 2, subtract the smaller one from the bigger one, find the rule. I will give you a hint that the whole numbers are going up. So whatever it is going to be an addition. Plus how much, okay? All right. Okay, we're going to go down to spiral review. Jalen rode her bicycle in a bike-a-thon. She rode 33.48 miles in 2.7 hours. If she rode at the same speed, what is her speed in miles per hour? So we are going to, first, we have to move the decimal 1 time. So now we're going to have 334.8 divided by 27. Okay, can't have a decimal outside of the box. I had to move it once, which meant I had to move it once. Okay, so now I'm going to move that up. Okay, so I don't know my multiples of 27 past 54. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to write 27, 54. I'm going to use my calculator just to find my multiples. Not to do the work. Okay, hopefully I won't have to go past that, but we'll see. Okay, the 27 is not going to go into 3. It will go into 33 one time. 1 times 27 is 27. If I subtract, I'm going to get 6. Okay, 6 is definitely smaller than 27, so I'm going to bring down my 4. Okay, that is going to go in twice for 54. Subtract, I get 10. Okay, now 10 is definitely smaller than 27, so I can bring down my 8, and 108 is 4 times. 4 times 27, 108. So 12.4 miles per hour. Okay. Okay. All right. 1 week, a company filled 546 boxes with widgets. Each box held 38 widgets. How many widgets did the company pack in boxes that week? So 546 boxes. Each one had 38. Let's do some math. 8 times 6, 48. Carry our 4. 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 4 is 36. Sorry, guys, I didn't realize you couldn't see. Carry our 3. 8 times 5 is 40. Plus 3 is 43. Okay, and now we're going to tick, tack, toe. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. Carry the 1. 3 times 5 is 15. Plus 1, 16. Add them up. Okay? So now 8 plus 0 is 8. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry that 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. Plus 3 is 7. 4 plus 6 is 10. Carry that 1. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So 20,748. And that is widgets. How many widgets? So our answer is widgets. Write down your work, guys. Okay. Write an expression that represents the statement, add 9 to 3, then multiply by 6. So add 9 to 3, then multiply by 6. Here's the thing. It wants you to add 9 to 3 first, so you need to put parentheses around it. That's it. Okay, that's your whole answer. Okay. Mason took 9.4 minutes to complete the first challenge in Champs Challenge. He completed the second challenge in 2.65 minutes faster than the first challenge. How long did it take Mason to complete the second challenge? So 9.4, and we're going to subtract 2.65 to find out how long it took him. Okay, so whatever it is, though, is going to be measured in minutes. Okay? So you can't take 5 away if there's not even a number there. I'm going to put a 0 because it's after the decimal. Okay? Now, first things first, I'm going to drop my decimal. Okay? 0 cannot take away 5, so I'm going to borrow 1, making it 10. 10 take away 5 is 5. 3 cannot take away 6. I'm going to borrow 1, making it 13. 13 take away 6 is 7. 8 take away 2 is 6. 6.75 minutes. Okay, guys, write your work down. All right. Thanks for hanging out for 6.9. Come back for 6.10. See you soon.